Every nation has a moment when its people decide that silence is no longer an option. For Samoa, that moment came during decades of colonial rule, when ordinary citizens rose together in a movement known as the Mau. The Mau movement revolutionized the way society enacts with higher power to establish peace and agreement. And also at the basis was the reaction to an injustice within society was being treated, and within all, made lasting impacts such as giving lasting reforms on nonviolent resistance movements, strengthening the social identity of the Samoan people, and enabling the country to establish economy off the natural resources and reinstate political structures sacred to the heritage. To understand how this movement changed Samoa forever, we have to go back, long before independence, to the origins of the islands themselves, and to the forces that set this revolution in motion. Samoans settled these islands thousands of years ago, developing a cultural identity rooted in community, hierarchy, and the Matai system, a chiefly structure that guided political and social life. But in the 1700s and 1800s, European explorers and traders arrived. They saw Samoa not as a homeland, but as a strategic and economic opportunity. Copra, better well known as dried coconut used for oil, became a major export, drawing foreign powers deeper into Samoan affairs. As Western influence grew, so did the tensions. Rivalries between Germany, Britain, and the United States escalated into open conflict, with Samoans being caught in all of it. In 1899, the Tripartite Convention divided the islands without Samoan input. The United States took the eastern islands, Germany took the western, and Britain accepted compensation elsewhere such as Africa and Australia. For Samoans, this was more than a political agreement. It was a violation of sovereignty. Their land, their chiefs, and their future were negotiated by foreign powers without their consent.
The Patriot Agreement between America, Britain, and Germany, white guys sat around the table, I think in Washington, was it? And they divided Samoa without any fucking Samoan there. Okay?
Now under German rule, economic demands intensified, plantations expanded, and Samoan chiefs clashed with colonial administrators over land, labor, and authority. In 1908, a dispute over a locally owned corporate company sparked the first Mau movement, led by Chief Maua Maamoi. The Mau challenged German control, demanding respect for Samoan leadership and customs. Germany responded with force. Warships arrived, leaders were arrested, and many were exiled to islands like Saipan, now in present-day Micronesia. One of those exiled men, Iingapisa, later became known for his extraordinary return to Samoa. But his story was only one part of a much larger struggle.
And Iingapisa said to him, and God will find a way to guide him back.
Now, Inga needed to learn English, and the closest place he could learn English.
After World War I, Samoa was transferred to New Zealand. At the time, New Zealand was under heavy British influence, as they were still in the empire. But instead of relief, Samoans faced new challenges. In 1918, a ship carrying the Spanish influenza was allowed to dock in Apia Harbor. The virus spread quickly, killing 8,500 Samoans, nearly 22% of the population. Many Samoans blamed the New Zealand administration for negligence. This tragedy deepened distrust and fueled a renewed call for self-determination.
From doing what they wanted to do, they all got together and established committees to work against the New Zealand administration. That was the Mau.
In the 1920s, the Mau re-emerged, stronger, more organized, and committed to the nonviolence resistance, led by Tupua Tamasese Leolofi III. The movement united chiefs, villagers, and everyday Samoans under one message: Samoa mo Samoa, Samoa for Samoans. They marched, published newspapers, and refused to cooperate with colonial authorities. Their discipline and unity made the Mao one of the most influential nonviolent resistance movements in the South Pacific. But on December 28, 1929, a day in Samoan culture known as Black Saturday, New Zealand police opened fire during a peaceful march occurring on the city streets. 11 Samoans were killed, including Tupua Tamasese. People state that his final words were, "My blood has been spilled for Samoa. Do not dream of avenging it." Black Saturday became a turning point, a moment that exposed the brutality of colonial rule and strengthened the Mao's resolve.
I interviewed Sila Thao We Patifatilua from the village Palali, Epai Pulea Savai. He is a high chief of his village. The question was, what does the Mao sacrifice mean for Samoans today? It reminds us that the freedom wasn't handed to us, he said. People marched, suffered, and even died so Samoans can stand on our own. Their courage shapes who we are today.
In the decades that followed, the Mao continued to push for reform. As New Zealand's political leadership changed, so did its approach to Samoa. By the 1950s, negotiations for self-governance began, and on January 1st, 1962, Samoa became the first Pacific Island nation to gain independence. The first head of state was Tupua Tamasese Meole, son of the Mao leader killed on Black Saturday, a symbolic restoration for Samoan authority.
I wish to offer today a formal apology to the people of Samoa for the injustices.
70 years later, Helen Clark would apologize.
The Mao didn't just win independence, they reshaped Samoa's identity. Economically, Samoa rebuilt industries like agriculture, fishing, and tourism. Politically, the Matai system was integrated into the new democratic government. Culturally, Samoans embraced the Fa'a Samoa, the Samoan way, with renewed pride. The Mao legacy continues to influence nonviolent resistance movements all across the world, proving that unity and peaceful resistance can challenge even the most powerful empire.